Hi, everyone. Welcome to the frequency of the moon reading, where I'm going to just break down energetically what is happening. I talk a lot about frequency and the frequency fields I work with, and I had a really hard time explaining how, what the purpose of this work is. And I'm realizing at this moment in time, it's helping us break down and are like the core belief systems we have. Okay, so if subconscious narrative, core beliefs, all those things don't make a lot of sense to you, you might struggle with this a little bit. But if you can let go of the technicality of it and just get whatever message you need, that might just be good enough. um, in the individual sessions that I do, and sorry, I should probably preface if you didn't see my astrology of the moon video. I have a bit of a sinus cold, so if you can handle me be sounding a little bit stuffed up right now, I think we'll make it through okay. Um, in the in the way that I look at this, when I do this work with the emissaries of light, this is all energetic frequency, and I go into the field and I look at the energy structures that are no longer serving. So they're old, they're outdated. It's kind of like I like to look at it as like, let's say you're a computer and your operating system is, you've downloaded a virus or it starts to operate from the virus and not your actual, the way you're supposed to run as an operating system, or you have outdated programming that needs updating, right? Like things like that from an energetic standpoint. The energy affects our mind, our body, our emotions, all of that. Okay. It's the core energy of who we are. And with the frequency of the moon, it's what they're showing me is how this moon is helping us shift out of those old, outdated programming, how that programming shows up for us so we can identify it, how we can work with the energy, and how it's installing new beliefs in us. And I'm going to walk you through all of that. Now, there is going to be timestamps in the description. We have 5 themes of energy with this new moon in Capricorn, and each one has a different theme. You can look to see which ones apply to you. The way that they show me this is they show me what is being desired by the collective and then what it requires to break down in order to live into that desire. And I'll break this all down for you step by step with each one. There is some light language, there is some visuals. So, in the physical art of things. So you can look at that if you want, if that appeals to you, or you can just get whatever messages. But I really want to start introducing this concept to people because I think it's important to understand what is shifting for us so that we can continue to understand what's breaking down in us and what we're expanding in consciously. Okay. So the moon's energy is helping us break free from old energy, old karmic energy, and belief systems that go with that old karmic energy. Now, karmic energy is not necessarily what I believe and how I've been shown. It's just old energy that if we keep making decisions from that old energy, we keep experiencing the same old patterns and the same old shitty things. We're not here for that. Um, we are looking at the gamma field, which is the heart frequency, and the auric field, which is our presence frequency, in the 5 themes or 5 cycles of energy that is being transpired. Now, some of the beliefs that are broken down, I kind of want to go into that a little bit. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that after this slide. Okay, how the cycles work. We have the core belief. So I'm going to talk to you about the core belief or the old energy, the old karmic energy, okay, that is being targeted in this frequency so it can be dissolved, okay, and the fear that that belief induces. We have beliefs in our system, whether they're cellular, mental, emotional, whatever, okay, we have beliefs and fear is induced by those beliefs, and then we react and behave based on that belief. But if it doesn't serve us, it's an unpleasant experience. So the second one, the reaction or the behavior that stems from the belief. The third part of the cycle is the way you can neutralize the fear and belief. because if it's making you feel a certain way, it certainly isn't serving you. 4 is how the frequency of the moon is assisting with this energetic shift. 5, what you can do to align to your highest path. And 6, the new belief and love that supports it. I'm going to take you through each cycle, and the overall energy of all of these themes is the personal path unlocked. So rise of the individual, no need to argue truth, awareness of personal needs, allowance of others' needs, reconciliation through individuality. This is the whole part of us doing this frequency work. Whether you're conscious of it or not, you're a part of it. Okay. Everybody's a part of it, whether they know it or not. These are the themes and the energies that we are aspiring to, that we are shifting into. This is the goal, if you will, if it was more of a conscious or egoic concept. And then some of the beliefs that we're going to be breaking down that are being, I want to say, like, let's say you've got an inventory of things in you and there are certain things that are just outdated, you can't use them anymore. That's what we're doing here. So beliefs that the truth will hurt, dissolved. We're going to dissolve all of this. We're going to release all of this. Even people that aren't watching this, they're probably going to feel and understand on some level. It's like they're going to experience this whether they watch it or not. But for those of you that are watching, there's a part of you that needs to understand this, I suppose. The belief that you're responsible for other people's feelings, the belief that participating in experiences that are vibrationally off is a sense of belonging. Oh, sorry. So giving yourself permission to not participate in things just because you feel you have to belong. There's something with that, right? The belief that there's only one way to live or do things. The belief that that you'll be abandoned or rejected if you grow and change. The belief that you have to save people. This is a big one. For those of us who are very conscious, I keep wanting to go back and into like the 3D matrix type stuff. And I think I got to save everybody there, but it just brings my frequency down. Very interesting shifts. The belief that looking stupid if no one understands you. Look at me. I'm like doing half the people I hope you understand this, but I'm pushing through. See how I'm dissolving the fear by living into my truth? Yeah. Just giving you real life examples, okay? The belief that the belief that something bad will happen if you're misunderstood, if people don't understand you. The belief that needing to figure it all out, because you believe you need to explain it to others. So feeling like you have to have everything figured out so you can explain what you're doing to others, that's a belief system, but it's not necessarily true. And the belief that living in pain to avoid bigger pain is the lesser of the two evils. That's, these are things that have been indoctrinated. We're all innocent in this. We're all innocent in our beliefs. We're innocent in what we believe to be true because we lived it and we were indoctrinated into it in so many ways throughout our childhood and our adolescence. And we're now at a place where we are breaking down all of those beliefs. Okay. So the moon is helping us break down these specific experiences. And we're gonna get into that now. Okay. Sorry, I think my things are just in the way and I don't know how to get this to go away. So I'm sorry if you guys can't see. I'm sorry if you guys can't see something. Maybe I'll move this down here. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm like clearing my throat here too. Okay. A desire to feel the frequency of love. Okay. So this is what is a collective desire right now. We want to feel the frequency of love. Okay. So what comes up with that? The core belief is if you face the truth of how you feel, you may not be able to handle the outcome. What will need to be done if you know the truth? So there's a couple of elements with this that I find really interesting because oftentimes our fear and our belief are so covert that we don't realize that our fear of the truth of how we feel actually keeps us out of feeling the frequency of love. Those two things are related, but it's hard for the mind to process that, okay? These stem from, and also what will need to be done if you know the truth. Like, so the belief that you're responsible for how the truth lands with everybody or for fixing things if the truth isn't handled well by other people, right? The belief that you're responsible for how other people feel kind of keeps you out of the frequency of love. The core fears here are the fear of the truth and fear of feeling the truth. And what happens, because it's all that, once something is seen, it can't be unseen, right? So the reaction or behavior that stems from the belief, this is where we avoid or distract ourselves because the people, situation, or environment is too hard to lean into or focus on, trying to ignore the feeling, but the body usually breaks down. So I'll give you an example of this. Um, Christmas Day for me, Christmas dinner with my family. I went into it, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to feel love, and I just want to love everybody for where they're at, and I just want to go and spend time with family. And it was like the whole time my body was telling me that that was not the place for me to be. People got their own things going on, but there was just this elevated energy of friction and frustration. And someone even looked at me and said, nobody wants to be here. Why do we want to do this? And I'm so sensitive. Like, it's not like I took on the energy. I didn't take on it, but it felt my body. I started bloating. My face got bloated. My back started seizing because I'm trying to avoid or distract. I just went on my phone trying to ignore the intensity of the negative energy around me. And my body broke down. And then I had a big emotional meltdown because I was trying to avoid the truth of the fact that my family gatherings do not provide the love that I need anymore. And that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to lean into. And it's not a judgment of anybody that was there. It's a recognition of where I'm at with myself. And anywho, so that was that's kind of how it might show up for some people, trying to ignore how you really feel. But your body's going to tell you what's going on. Okay. Um, so three, the way you can neutralize the fear and belief. So understand that you're having an enriching experience so you can learn more about yourself. Okay. So I can neutralize the fear, just using this as an example, I can neutralize the fear of the truth of the fact that I just can't be in these environments anymore, and understanding that I had this experience so I could be taught what is in alignment for me, what does feel loving for me. I truly want to feel love in my interactions. And can it be all the time? Probably not. But if it's something that I'm seeking, then I need to understand these experiences that I'm having, right? When I can accept where I'm at and what I'm experiencing, I can learn so much from the experience to make better choices for myself. That's how I neutralize that fear. I'm not going to continue to put myself in these situations and avoid and distract. I'm going to face them, right? Because that's how I'm going to understand more about what's happening. So the fourth part is how the frequency of the mood is assisting with this energetic shift. It's bringing in the energy to shift the truth of you, let's say, okay, and what you need so you can love yourself through the experience instead of resisting it, right? Like at one point at night, I'm in the bathroom stall and I'm crying and I'm realizing there's no one there that can offer me the compassion and comfort that I need. And I have to do that for myself, which is a whole other thing together, but it's just like, you know, it's realizing where I can love myself through. So the frequency of this moon is helping us figure out what we need so we can love ourselves through instead of resisting our experience. What you can do to align with your highest path is, I have my little trusty dusty note. Okay. Love yourself enough to be able to look past the fear and pain to see what's really happening and let go of the fear and belief that make you worried about facing it all. And how you go about that is going to be different for everyone, but this is kind of, and whether you do this or not, this is still going to be affecting you. I just, if you want to be more of a participant, this gives you a way to do that, but you're not going to miss out if you're not doing it right. That's another belief system that probably needs to be dissolved, okay? And the new belief system that's being incorporated through this so that you can lean into if this is one of the themes that resonated with you. Pain is experienced through the absence of love. There is nothing you can't handle, and you are having this experience to evolve and become more clear about yourself and your life. Love is for everyone, especially you, and it's hard to feel that when you're surrounded by the absence of it. Universal love is intoxicating, and I allow myself to drink in it. Drink it in. My gosh, I need a drink of water. Okay. I know it's a lot of information, but if you just, even if you just allow yourself to kind of listen to these things and pick apart the different things that you need from this or will get from it, that's all that matters. I just find it really fascinating seeing the different layers and complexity to our experiences and what it is we're shifting out of. Okay. Now, the second one, the second cycle is a desire to be in harmony. So collectively, we are desiring to be in harmony. Okay. The core belief of this that is obstructing our ability to be in harmony. Okay. You believe that you need to participate in things you don't want with people you don't want because this is the only way to belong. It doesn't matter if it's a family thing, could be a work thing, could be a friend thing, could be anything. But forcing yourself to participate with doing things that you're not even excited about because it's the only way you can feel connected to other people. There's something with that. There's a disruption of your own personal harmony with that. But it's a belief. It's a belief that you have to do what other people want and do it with the people that you don't want because that's what you've been led to believe or taught to believe. That's the word. Okay. So the reaction or behavior that stems from the belief, because you are somewhere you don't really want to be or where you don't feel aligned, you feel even more excluded and will either feel a growing resentment or try to overcompensate responsibility to try and make things better. Okay. So if you're in an environment or you're with people or you're doing something that isn't actually harmonious to you, you're going to either start feeling resentful about the experience. You're definitely going to feel even more excluded. You're going to feel like a fish out of water. You're going to feel like you don't really belong with these people. Okay. And so you're either going to build up resentment for the experience, who forced you to do this, or resentment for yourself. Why do I do this to myself? Or you're going to overcompensate responsibility and try to make things, you're going to try and fix the mood for everybody, fix the energy. You might be the only one feeling that vibrational mismatch, but you're going to be sensitive to it. So you're going to try and fix the mood. It's going to feel a little awkward, right? But it's innocent. It's an innocent reaction that stems from the fear and the belief. Okay. Oh, I didn't talk about the fears. The fear of the truth and the fear of not belonging. A deep fear of not belonging if you don't do what everybody else does. Okay. So the way that you can neutralize the fear and belief in the moment, if this is the experience you're having, find a way to accept what you really need to create equilibrium for yourself. You may not be able to salvage the situation, but you may become more discerning about what you participate in the future. So again, having that enriching experience to be like, yeah, this isn't for me. And I just need to give myself permission to do what is for me. And there's a lot of, we have all these narratives, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm one of the only people that does this. I don't know, where you're just like, well, if I don't want to spend too much time alone, then I'm hermiting and blah, blah. You just get to play it by ear. Okay. Some things maybe you don't really feel like doing, you end up getting there and it's fine. That's not really the experience I'm talking about, but this is really about if you truly desire to be in harmony, you need to recognize what you need to be and what's harmonious for you. And give yourself permission to have that no matter what it looks like to other people. Um, how the moon is how the moon's energy is helping us. So it's imbuing the energy of prioritizing your own personal equality, knowing that love is for everyone and experiencing that is just as important as belonging. Um, because when you don't feel like you belong and you're in a place where things aren't harmonious or a vibrational match or just jiving with you, it's a very uncomfortable, unloving place to be. Love is all you need, right? So, how you can how you can do to align what you can do, wow, what you can do to align with your highest path. Prioritize and nurture yourself instead of pleasing others. Prioritize what you need. Because here's the thing, and I'm going to say this from a place of compassion and love and understanding that it can be a little bit harder to hear. But if you're showing up because you want to please others and you're either building resentment or you're trying to fix the vibrational match or you're trying to overcompensate, it's not actually serving those other people anyways. It's making it more awkward or more difficult for them, just as it is for you. Like but if you're more aware of it, you prioritize yourself because it's only ever going to serve others in that way. Even if the other people don't understand it, they don't have to. They're not you, and it's you that's trying to create this feeling for yourself. The belief is you are worthy. Am I in the right place? Yes. You are worthy of loving and harmonious exchanges, and when you do this for yourself, the external experiences will align beautifully. Universal love is harmonious, and I want that for me. That was, I know we're only 2 cycles in, kids. Okay, so here is cycle number 3, a desire to expand harmoniously. These are all connected. They're all weaved into a tapestry, but some might be more resonant for others. Okay. So the desire is to expand harmoniously, to feel comfortable enough with yourself to expand and to feel the harmony of that, right? To feel balanced in that. The core belief that obstructs this ability, okay, is you fear you will be rejected or abandoned if you pursue a path of unconventional growth. This is a real fear of being alone or ostracized and a belief that everyone needs to come with you to feel safe. So the fear of not belonging, the fear of discomfort, the fear of change, feeling responsible for, saving everybody. It makes it hard to expand onto your own path when you're constantly considering everybody else's path. Okay. And this is not the same, like being considerate of somebody else's path here. I'm gonna just drop this little note. Okay. Being considerate of somebody else's path means you're you accept and acknowledge the path that they're on. You're not being considerate in the sense of considering what they're doing so you can consider what you're doing, or making decisions for yourself, considering other people because that's the right thing to do. Do you see how that kind of gets blurred a little bit where we want to be considerate? Because I do find the people that are more conscious and awake are the more considerate people because there's an awareness, a self-awareness. So we have this consideration for other people, but that's not really what's truly in alignment is considering their unique path and honoring that for them, but considering ourselves, like not considering what they're doing in regard to what we're doing. Does that make sense? You can't answer me because this is a video, but so the behavior or reaction that stems from the belief, you may feel you need other people to understand you, especially people you're closest to, in order to let yourself grow and make the necessary changes. You may innocently burden yourself with other people, drama, distractions, but feel incredibly unhappy with life because you're constantly considering what everybody else is doing, but what they're doing isn't in harmony with your own expansion. And right now, like there's people that I love and that I'm so close to, and we're very high vibrational frequency people. We're not even jiving vibration. They each have their own paths. And it's not what I'm doing. Like, but it doesn't, like, it's such a weird thing, but it's not, it doesn't disrupt me or anything because there's no pressure there. But, there's, it's such an interesting time. So just pay attention to that. The way you can neutralize the fear and belief, try to observe yourself and pay attention to when you are keeping yourself small or quiet in order to stay in the sphere of others you're around. Understanding and acknowledgement goes a long way before you can act in what you truly want. See, you want to stay in the sphere of others, but they're not expanding in the way that you are. And here's the thing, I'm talking about a few of my friends that are on this path of expansionness. My expansiveness is not greater than theirs. It's just different. We're in a space where we can accept and love that about each other, but not everybody can do that. But if you have people in your life that you are trying to continue to consider, but limiting yourself in that process, it's going to make it hard for you to expand with harmony, okay? So what is this frequency of this moon helping us with? It's going to have us feeling the need to turn inward to assess our own needs and what we need to do that will allow us to find harmony and feel good about expanding and growing, okay? And not everybody's going to be happy about that, right? Not everybody's going to be happy. If maybe some people will feel like we're leaving them behind, but and maybe that's true in some cases, but we're not responsible for that. And we're not responsible for that person's happiness. And we're certainly not doing it to cause any kind of harm to that person or to hurt them, right? But that's their own perception. That's their own perception of things that they need to figure out. We're not responsible for that either. So there's a lot to consider and just again lean in. So what can you do to align with your highest path? Do the kinds of things that make you feel safe enough to expand without the influence of others. This takes time and practice, so be patient with yourself. Maybe it's just spending time alone journaling or connecting to source or doing whatever you need to do for you without telling everybody about it or having to explain it to other people. Just kind of leaning in with yourself. That will help tremendously. And because sometimes, like, I'll do things and I don't tell anybody about it because I don't want to explain it to anyone. I don't want to have that conversation because it takes me out of my own sphere of influence, where my soul is trying to influence me versus the people around me. So the new belief and love that supports it, you were allowed to have experiences that feel like this is what life is worth living for. The moments and connections that bring harmony to all aspects of you. Okay. I seek the feeling of harmony in my expansion. That's what's being replaced. That's what we're replacing this old belief system with. Cycle number 4, a desire for the soul to come forth. Damn. Okay. Getting there, guys. We're getting there. I might lose my voice, but it's fine. So, the desire is for the soul to be in the driver's seat. Let's face it, our human self, we are many things. We are not omniscient and we don't know what we're doing half the time, and we're not supposed to, so it's okay. But the soul does. The soul knows exactly what it's doing. So having that, our soul in the driver's seat, being able to fully trust ourselves, fully trust our path, that's what we're desiring. The beliefs that we have that may counteract that or make it difficult to live into that, you may believe on some level that you will look stupid or look like a fool if you follow your intuition over facts and choose to evolve in your own way. So this is the fear of discomfort, the fear of looking dumb, and the fear of being misunderstood. This whole, like, I don't know about you guys, do you ever feel like you have to explain yourself to people, even though nobody asked you for for an explanation? But I think as kids, we get so indoctrinated in trying to explain ourselves to the adults that we think we have to do that still as adults. We kind of stuck with that. Like we owe people explanations or they need to understand what we're doing for us to feel good about it. Such an interesting thing. The soul's not worried about that kind of stuff. So the behavior that may come out with this, so you may become obsessed with what others think of you and overwhelm yourself with the details that distract you from your path. Like doing things in a way that you think will make you more palatable, but really is inauthentic to your vibe and creates more separation, because nothing will make you feel more separation than being separated from yourself or doing things in a way that isn't really you. So, um, you might do things in a way that you think other people might find agreeable because you don't want to incur their misunderstanding or their rejection of whatever it is you feel aligned with. Okay. So the way that you can neutralize this fear or belief, try to prioritize what you know to be true for you intuitively and through your inner knowing. Prioritize that over anything else you've ever learned. Okay. When you remember that all experiences support intelligence and growth, you allow yourself to follow your unique soul-driven path. Okay. When you realize that there's no stupid thing, you're not stupid. You're not stupid for living into any experience because all experience brings intelligence. It's not just fact. It's not just intellect. It's not just smarts. It's the whole of your intelligence, your emotions, your intuition, your physical sensing, all of that stuff. Okay. How the moon is helping. So knowing that no one has been where you've been, don't rely on past facts to make future decisions. Resonance trumps the past. So it's helping us embody knowing that no one has been where we've been. So it doesn't matter what they think because they have no idea what it's like to be you. Okay. Uh, Removing the need to rely on past facts to make future decisions, though that'll never happen because it never has. But we don't know that, right? And then resonance trumps the past. It does not matter what you experienced in the past, what you're resonating with now is more valuable than anything you've ever experienced before because that's no longer in existence. Okay. Um, what you can do to align with your highest path, if this is where you're at, allow yourself to talk things out, either out loud to yourself or to someone who can hold space for you. Through hearing the words come out of your mouth, you will get a better sense of what feels right to you. And then the new belief that is being instilled so it can override the old belief. Your soul's only agenda is to inspire you to live a more fulfilling, embodied life and to rise above the fear that keeps you stuck. You can trust your soul and you can trust that you will have what you need. Opening to your personal divine path is beneficial to you and all for the highest good. It feels good to hear the resonance of your soul through your expression. Okay, last but certainly not least, we have the desire to operate from the heart. Okay, collectively, we want to operate from the heart. This is the good space. This is the part of us that feels the frequency of love no matter what. We want to come from the heart. Even if nobody else is doing that, we want to have this graceful experience with ourselves and our own perception and what have you. And all the things I talked about up until this point are going to serve this in some way. So the core belief that might be disruptive of this desire or an obstacle to this desire or living into this desire, you may believe that if no one agrees with you, that you're wrong, dumb, or making a mistake. The belief that the majority consensus is the right consensus, um, because having the most people believe it must make it true. The problem is when we go into those spaces, we come out of the heart and into our head. So we're then operating from a headspace and not from the heart. Do you see how that works? There's a fear of being wrong and the consequences of being wrong, a fear of looking dumb, a fear of persecution, and a fear of mistakes. But we're human. Okay, we're here to make mistakes. Okay, this is not malicious intent. This is a desire to follow our hearts and live in love, regardless of how stupid other people might think. Okay? So the behavior or reaction that stems from the belief, you may become obsessed with details and critical thought, trying to prove what's right or wrong. You may struggle in honoring your path because it's different than others, or try to compare yourself to others, trying to sense where you fit, all to mitigate the responsibility of your choices and the reactions that people might have to that. So you might go into critical thought right out of the heart, right into the head, trying to make sense of things so you can explain it to other people or justify it to yourself. But all that does is keep you in a state of separation from what you truly want. So the way you can neutralize the fear of belief, when you remember that you're the only one who will be shouldering 100% of the responsibility of your choices, you start to be less concerned with what everyone else is doing. When you focus on yourself as an individual, you live into your intuition and open to possibilities specific to you. You know, sometimes people are not going to be able to understand your vision until the vision manifests. But I don't know, it's such a weird thing because I know that sometimes advice is helpful, but I don't feel like this is it. You know, I think this is more about where we allow all of those external things prevent us from doing what we need to for our own personal selves. Okay, so how the frequency of the moon is going to help us. It's going to help us realize that our heart is not programmed, that the head is. Your thoughts, your belief systems, the patterns of thoughts, the way you calculate things, the way you logic, that's all programming. That's all conditioning. That's things you've been taught. The heart doesn't have any of those things. It just lives in the moment, in the present. It's whatever's right or wrong in that moment. And what might be right at 10 a.m. might be wrong at 3 p.m. That's just how it is. Okay. And then learning to hear and understand your heart with an open mind. So letting the heart reprogram the mind. That's what the moon's frequency is doing on an energetic level. So what can you, sorry, what you can do to align with your highest path? Entertain the idea of having heart-to-heart conversations with others or yourself. It doesn't actually matter. What matters is that you're engaging in an energy from the heart space, and this will allow the awareness of what's possible, what's true for you. Having compassion for yourself, your choices, and your journey keep you from trying to go about the world using a programmed mind. Even in your heart-to-heart conversations, you're not, heart-to-heart conversations are about expressing truth, but they're not about convincing anyone of the truth. You're not explaining yourself to anyone. You're actually just expressing what you feel and what you um desire and what you are understanding. Like heart-to-heart conversations are a safe space to just express. They're not about, again, that need to prove or logic or get people to understand you. This is about knowing you understand yourself and expressing it from that place. So the new belief and the love that supports it. So everyone is capable of being omniscient in the moment. You can know and trust exactly what you need in the moment, even if it doesn't fit the plan your mind has mapped out. Your resonance will keep your heart open to the path meant just for you. It is safe to experiment and explore and play with this idea. Okay. So that's it for our frequency of the moon. If you'd like your own mini frequency session, I am offering them on my website, www.candywishman.com. The link's in the description box. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good one and take care.